Hi guys. Hi everyone. My name is Salamata. Welcome back. Welcome back to Salamata speaking. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Like the fact that the universe has brought you here in this moment to listen to me speak to you right now is amazing. It's fascinating. It's beautiful. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and your presence. Like thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the podcast. If you have any feedback of any sorts, DM me on Instagram. It's Salamata0. That's Salamata 0. And let's get into the pod. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I did not know what to prep for today's episode because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And then obviously the thing with Danny Lay and the baby happened, and so we have something to talk about. But also, I want to talk about mental health a little bit because I had like one of the worst breakdowns at the beginning of the week. Um, and then I got my SAT scores today, so we're gonna talk about all of that. Um, join me on this ride. It's a ride for both of us. You know what I mean? So let's come and let's enjoy it. I love you for listening. Continue listening. And yeah. So at the beginning of the week, it was literally Monday. Okay, at the start of the week, Monday, I woke up and I was so tired. Like, you know, when you wake up and your body is just like, no, today's not the day. Like, go back to sleep, do something, coffee, like whatever it was. Like, it was just not my day. And I was just like really exhausted. But because this is the start of the week, like, you just want to, like, I was like, I'm gonna get my head in the game. Like, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make something work. So, woke up a little late, made it late to first period. Not really, not, it's really nothing new. I mean, it's new for me as like a student, and like for my life, but for the way like coming back to school after COVID, like is low key become the routine that I'm trying to break out of. Like, I'm sorry, but we need to talk about like why is it so easy to be a dropout? Why is it so easy to opt out of school? Why is it so easy to skip class? Like thinking about the education system in like America is just like it's just not it, cause like this doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Like you skip class anywhere else, like okay, and it just might be my school too. Like I go to a DOE school in Washington Heights, so this might just be my school. And like also we know that like discipline doesn't certainly work, especially because it targets like you know poor people and minorities, so it doesn't work. And then we have the school to prison pipeline, which is like also really awful. But I'm just saying, it is too easy to be a dropout. It's too easy. Like if you don't have a support system and if you don't, you don't wake up every day and look in the mirror and tell yourself your purpose and like the real reason why you're doing this, it's so easy to quit. And just by like showing up to the first period late, like I've really noticed that. And like I'm somebody who's trying to graduate early, so like I just can't imagine for like my peers who like don't have like supportive families or don't really care about school or education or have been made to feel like they're stupid. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. That's so like it's so awful to think about because like I love school. I love learning. And like I love when people ask me this question like, "Do you like school?" And it's just like, "Yeah, I like school. I like learning. I like coming into a space and like hanging out with my friends, but also learning new stuff and like having conversations and being around such different type of people." Um I met like the greatest people I know in school and through programs that like the school has connected me to. Like I'm really grateful for school and the education that I'm getting, but also it's really hard. Like it's actually really hard. And I wish like people could understand that cuz I feel like just like explaining to my mom or like, other adults like I'm really having a hard time right now and it's low key like what are you having a hard time with? Like that's the response they be giving you sometimes and it's just like, "Bruh, yeah, I only take like what? I actually take what, 7 classes? That doesn't seem like a lot, but like once you're sitting down and like you have homework from all of your classes, like that is hours of work. every single night. And so you have to prioritize. And these are skills that like you don't know at this age. Like your brain is quite literally still developing and you're still like learning how to make decisions. So like why are you being given so much work? Like I don't understand it from a psychological standpoint, from a humanitarian standpoint. Like school be messed up sometimes. Like really not good for my mental health, but it is what it is. Like I'm getting that diploma. I might cry about it. I might cry about it. I might have a few breakdowns throughout the day, but I'm going to get the diploma. So, let's go back to Monday. Monday, I wake up not feeling great. I'm like, still got to go to school, still got stuff to do. And Monday the 15th, I have deadlines for schools that I actually want to go to. I'm applying to college. Um and I had deadlines for early action for schools that like I was really excited to go. Like I did the virtual tours, I talked to the admissions counselors, I sat in their Zoom calls, all that stuff. Like I'm really excited about going to these schools. I like their YouTube videos. I talk to students who go to the school and I'm like really excited about it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, like it's early action." Like I get to know like if they've accepted me before January. Before January, I will have my letter of admission or denial. I don't know what denial is called. Hopefully, all my schools accept me. Honestly, I feel like that would be worse though because I'm the worst at making decisions. Either way, I will end up where I'm supposed to end up. That's what I keep telling myself. Anytime like I start worrying about it and I start like spiraling, it's just like you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be. And I swear to God, that's what my lock screen says. Lock screen says you will end up where you're supposed to be. And that is the most comforting like quote ever because it's just like obviously you need to try and like plan your life and think about your goals and your future, but also like your destiny is written a little bit. Like that's what I try to tell myself. And I was have this conversation with people who are just like, I don't believe in religion. Obviously that's your prerogative, like don't believe in religion, but I think it's a little bit just more like hopeful to believe in a religion or a spiritual practice because like there's a guidebook if there's a spiritual practice, you know what I mean? Like there's a purpose, there's an end goal versus being atheist. I don't think there's an end goal. And like there's no hate to people who don't believe in God or like don't follow a spiritual practice or religion. I just think it's more hopeful and optimistic to believe in a God. um and I don't know, I think religion is fun sometimes. I want to take a religion class. I need to figure out a way to take a religion class and a math class without like double booking and over like loading my schedule. I do that a lot. I do that a lot and it's something to journal about for sure. Cause like why do I need to fill up my time? Like why can't I just breathe? Like I feel like relaxing is just something that like I haven't learned how to do. I remember okay, Monday, I keep getting off track. What is going on here? But Monday, it was the day of the deadline, schools that I was really excited for. I do all my programs at ROTC meeting. I had mock trial, and then I had to meet with my college counselor, Cynthia. I absolutely love her. Like this woman works hard. She works hard. I be ghosting her sometimes, but we get back on it. Had a meeting with her, and she was basically like, "Are you all set to send in your applications?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just need to like copy and paste my supplements into the Common app and press the submit button." I was like, "I'll do it when I get home." I had a long journey home. It started raining on me. Like, what? First of all, got out the train and I watched my bus pull off. That is pain on a different level. My phone was dying. Like, it was cold. It started raining. I was like, this is not the vibes. My bag was heavy, all that stuff. And so I get home and I'm just like exhausted. Exhausted. And, I drop off all my stuff and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat. Okay, because haven't had a real meal all day. So I go to eat. I finish eating. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shower. I take a shower, and then I come in my bed. I'm like, you know what? 30-minute nap. I take the 30-minute nap and I snooze it. And I'm like, I'm gonna wake up at 10. I got home pretty late that day, so I was like, I'm gonna wake up at 10 and I'm gonna finish this. Because my phone shuts off at 10, like it completely goes on like airplane mode, do not disturb at 10. My alarm didn't go off and I didn't wake up until 12:14, 15 minutes after the deadline for my application. When I tell you guys, I sobbed. Like I got up, I looked at the time and I was like, no, this can't be it. Like this can't just be like what just happened to me. Like I just no. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. And it's like, yeah, for sure I missed my deadline. Like that's heartbreaking. These are schools I want to go to. And my application is now in a pool with like a wider range of people and I won't find out until like April. And the way my anxiety is set up, like I just want to know. I just need to know. So I just need to forget that I have applied to college. Like once I finish with applying to college, I'm gonna just pretend like I'm a junior again. I'm just be like, there's nothing to be done. There's nothing to be done. Just another year of high school. But yeah, I cried. I was so upset, and it was just like it was such a defeating feeling. And like just crying while everybody else was sleeping was kind of weird too. It was just like my friends are sleeping and like there's nobody to reach out to at this point. Like who do you call at 12 a.m. when you're sobbing? It's 12 a.m. on Monday. Like that's a lot. So it was really upsetting. And so in that moment, I just had to like sit with myself and let it out. And I hate when people are just like, yeah, you just gotta let it out sometimes. Like I don't like that because first of all, feeling your emotions is disgusting. Being vulnerable is like awful. Like it just it's so raw. Like you want to be real until you got to be vulnerable and then it's just like it's something completely different. So that really like messed me up and jolted my reality a bit. So by sharing that story, I just want to let you know that like you will end up where you're supposed to be, number one. And number two, whatever you're worrying about right now, let it out. Let it out. You have to let it out before you can let it go. You know what I mean? So I cried. I cried for a good 5 hours. I was crying till 5 a.m., which is why I didn't go to school the next day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to take a self care day. I don't know how to relax. My system is not set up that way. So I had a good 4 hours of sleep the next day, and then I woke up and I was like, I didn't go to school. I didn't do my work. You know, I'm always worried about something, and I feel like most of us are because we have all these expectations that we set on ourselves. Yes, there are the expectations other people set on us, but the ones we set on ourselves are just like actually insane. And because you are your worst critic, like you're just gonna beat yourself up more than anyone else will. And so when the world starts punching you while you're already punching yourself, like it's too much to carry. So you just have to let it go. Good cry. Like take a good cry. I recommend journaling to everyone. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I need to go back into my journaling practice. I got one of those books that you burn after you write. I want to start it, but I didn't buy a lighter. So I need to go get myself a lighter so I can start my journaling practice again. Journaling is the most like liberating thing ever. And it doesn't have to be aesthetic. It doesn't have to look good. Just like write. Get a pen and a paper, loose leaf, whatever it be. If you like don't want to get a real journal, loose leaf, sit down and just write what's on your mind. Stream of consciousness vibes. Just write what's on your mind and let it all out. And um writing like that, I've made a lot of poems out of. I know like my friend has made songs out of like stream of consciousness writing, as well as just like feeling better about yourself. So I recommend journaling. I recommend crying it out. I recommend going on a run. I recommend sitting in the shower and crying while listening to driver's license. Like all of it. I have so many like sad song playlists and they're all so good. Like it's Adele, it's Olivia Rodrigo, it's Billie Eilish, it's X, it's uh not me making everything about music. Everything comes back to music for me. I think music is really therapeutic and, has people who are still having our frontal lobes. I'm in psychology. So, if I hit you with amygdala, be prepared. But anyway, your frontal lobe is still like developing. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. All of our frontal lobes are still developing. I think it's like until 21 or 25, which is why like you're not supposed to do drugs because like your brain is still like rewiring itself. That's so strange to think about. That is wow. The way the world works, how fascinating. I'd be really like so reaching for the stars, reaching for the moon. And that just goes back to like the expectations like we set on ourselves. Like, of course you want the best for yourself, but you also need to like be kind to yourself and like make fair expectations so that you're not constantly disappointed in yourself. And so that you can like, congratulate yourself when you deserve it, which is like more times than we think. Like, I take the SAT without any prep because I'm supposed to be a junior and like my sophomore year we didn't take PSATs because of COVID and online school. So I never took SAT practice, I never took PSATs, none of it. I was supposed to take a practice test on my own, but I never find the time for it because I'm in so many extracurriculars, honestly. So I went to take that SAT cold, zero prep, like really the knowledge I have from all my schooling up until now is what I walked in with. And people be paying hundreds of dollars for this prep. So like it's pretty important to walk into that room like already knowing what you're doing. But that was not the case for me. And I just took the test and the entire time I was taking the test, I was just like, it's okay. It's okay. Whatever you get, you're gonna be okay. Whatever you get, you're gonna be okay. And so without setting any expectation for what my grade was going to be, when I saw my grade today, I was just like, okay, like it's not that bad. But I still want to take it again because like I want a higher score. I got an 1,000 out of 1,600. So I missed 600 points. And most of the points that I missed were in the math section because, like, I haven't taken math since last year because I don't have a math class right now. And usually every single summer, I will take a math class or a math course with a school, with a program, something. Since I was in third grade, every single summer, I would find a way to take a math course because math is really hard. Like, I always prided myself in like being the analytical thinker, like the science math geek. But math is really hard, and it's one of those things like I've always had to practice. And because I didn't practice it this summer, like it showed in my test scores. And so, because I had the ability to detach my worth from my grades, and especially from my SAT score, like I just felt so much like relief. I was like, oh my God, you got 1,000 cold. So like I'm proud of myself. Like I got up that day, I took the test. I didn't even eat breakfast that day. Wow, that's crazy. But all that stuff, all those circumstances, and I still was able to do the test. And I feel like that's how we need to think about um our hurdles, and we should, celebrate them all equally. Like I said in the last episode, like do not tie yourself to your grades. Like it is important to have good grades. It is important to have good grades. Whoever tells you it isn't, like, they're lying to you. Because at the end of the day, when you're applying to colleges, your GPA, like, really sets the colleges that you can even, like, set your eyes on. And so getting good grades is important, but it isn't important to your worth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's important to get good grades in a capitalistic society because you need to get an education so that you can get a job, that you could work and, contribute to the economy. But that has nothing to do with your self-worth. Your self-worth is all about like how you treat people, how you treat yourself, like are you a glass half full or half empty kind of person? All that stuff is your personality and that matters more in my opinion than your grades ever will. And I live in New York. I live in New York City and it's so expensive. I was in a seminar the other day about accounting and we were looking at like the price of living in New York City and it's really high. It's really high. If you add the price of living, just like your rent, your food, transportation, if you add that to student loans or medical bills, like it is impossible to live here without making a huge ass salary. Like you just have to be making a ton of money. And the only way to do that is by going into certain careers. And, unless you're talented and, you just got it like that. But for some of us, you need to be an accountant, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be, um, damn, what are the other professions? Business management, administrator, principal, like all that stuff. And it takes years to get to even like the high end of those salaries. And that all is based on your grades. But also, like, having a personality and being a charismatic person will take you so far. Like, I'd be in rooms and in meetings sometimes and it's just like, who put me here? Like, it feels strange. And that goes to imposter syndrome. And, that's not something I want to be fighting. Like I want to have success and like feel like I deserve it because I worked hard for it and that like, you know, like obviously it's a blessing, but also like if you wake up every day and you choose to do something and you're working hard towards a goal, when you accomplish that goal, it's because you deserved it. It's not because like, oh my god, you're lucky. One, your grades are not who you are. You need to detach yourself from your grades. Two, grades do matter because capitalism. I will blame everything on capitalism for the rest of my life because it is in fact true. And people need to stop asking me like what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be rich in the middle of nowhere. Rich in wealth, in peace, and happiness and love. But also like the ability to live in the woods without like needing a job and like not needing to be on grid and just finding inner peace. Who was it? It was Pamela Anderson, I think, who got off social media because she was like, like I found fulfillment in life and stuff. And I was like, that is so beautiful and that is everything I want for myself in the world. And I truly wish that on our generation because the fact that we've been on social media since we were in middle school is like not middle school, elementary school. I say like fourth, fifth grade is like when we really started being on social media. And that messes you up. Like that messes with your dopamine and serotonin because like the notifications is what's giving you serotonin. So like you're on your phone more. I don't know why I'm talking in this annoying voice. It's how I memorize my psychology notes. But yeah, like, I watched a social dilemma and it messed me up and then I watched it again for school and it keeps messing me up and it's just like I don't want to be on social media as often as I am on social media. I don't want to be on my phone as often as I am on my phone. And to like know that like the likes do matter to my brain subconsciously. Like it still matters. It's just like, oh my god, this picture did better. Like why I remember looking at my insights and I was just like the pictures that I like don't perform as well as the pictures that I don't like. And it changed the way I posted and the way I interacted on social media. And it was just weird to see that like subconscious change because like I wasn't just like, oh, I'm doing this now. It was kind of just like, this is how I take my pictures now, and this is what I'm posting now. Now, if you've been around long enough, my first podcast was about Danny Lay and her Yellowborn controversy. And I talked about how it was problematic and colorism, da da da. She thinks she's better than everyone, and this is gonna backfire on her. And it did. And it did. And I feel so bad for like looking at the situation from a person on the outside. Like, I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for her. But I feel like it's a real testament that karma is real. And also, men are dogs. Men are dogs. Or the baby specifically is a dog. Like, Lord, listen, listen. I pray that nobody listening to this, nobody on this earth has to ever experience a toxic relationship. The same man that gave her the confidence to write a song bashing dark-skinned women bashing his dark-skinned baby mother, is the same woman on live he is telling to Get out of my house. I don't want you. You're a psycho. Sorry, guys. He said that though. Like, she just gave birth to his daughter and he's kicking her out of his house and he's talking badly about her parents. There's so much drama like attached to all of it, but most importantly, like what I saw from this is kind of just like women need to take care of each other. Like her friends, her circle, like y'all needs to take care of your friend. Um her coming into that relationship in the first place, she should have never bashed the woman because at the end of the day, I feel like the internet would have more sympathy for her if she hadn't come on here and been like, Yellow Bone is what he want. Knowing so well that his baby mother is a black dark skinned woman and he has black dark skinned children and he is a black dark skinned man. And yellow bone really refers to black women with a lighter complexion. And she is not a black woman, she is a white Latina woman. Run from toxic relationships. Like, when you see the red flags, you run. I don't know what it is with our generation and like romanticizing like red flags and like dirt men and toxic relationships. But when you see the red flags, run. And exercise. And I said this in my freshman advice episode. It was just like, don't date the senior, and also don't date somebody that's isolating you from your friends and your family. And you need to sit down and make your red flags. You need to. Like, he's not asking me for money. Like, you need to write down your red flags and your boundaries so that when somebody tests you, you peep it and you dip. You peep it and you dip. Here's my favorite thing that I do that I've been doing for a while now. And if I blocked you, this is the reason why. So basically, in your contacts, you put people's names in, whatever. For example, Salamasa. Thank God I have a long name. Salamasa. Anytime Salamasa does something bad to you without apologizing, like they do something grimy, like disrespectful, like really like passes your boundaries, your friendship, relationship, whatever, you delete a letter. Every time they do it, you delete a letter. And by the time their name is gone, you block them. Unprovoked, no explanation, no long paragraphs. You just block them and you move on with your life. And I have found that like it works so well. It works really well. I explain this to most people when they come into my life or like it comes up in conversation because I'm all about my boundaries. Like, I'm already dealing with my own shit. Like, you're not about to bring shit into my life because, like, no. Like, why are you going to make me miserable on my phone line? What? Why am I going to pick up the phone and have you screaming at me? That's just no. I'm not going back and forth with you. And everybody thinks, like, oh my God, that's heartless. But, like, why would you be disrespectful to me? And like, I'll be honest, if it's a situation where I'm just like, ooh, like I don't know, like I might be tripping over this, I ask people. And I'm not just asking my friends that will agree with me. I will bring it to a neutral party that also knows this person, mostly it's teachers, because it'd be the friends at school or something, or like people who knew them previously, whatever. I'll bring it up to them. I'll be like, am I bugging for thinking this and this and this and that? And they'll straight up give me good advice, and I'll give them a chance. I won't delete their name, give them a chance, set up a conversation with them, and like bring it up and be like, I didn't like how you said this about me. I didn't like that you made this joke in front of this person. I didn't like that you brought up something I told you in private. Any of that. Say it to them, give them the chance to apologize or clarify anything. And if they still get it wrong after you had the conversation with them, blocked, delete, report. Do not let a man and woman, cause there are some women out here on God, straight from hell. Who said it? Who said it? Was it Juice World? Oh my God, there's a devil line. Somebody has a devil line about a woman, and I feel like agreed. gender is a social concept at the end of the day. Bad people, I also don't believe in bad people. I believe in people who do bad actions, but if they continue to do bad actions towards you, they are bad for your life and your living circumstances. So you need to remove them. Again, block. I ain't never been shy to hit a block button. And with the new mute feature, oh my God. Because I treat people like this, because I put people on this pedestal, it's the standard that I hold myself to. You must hold yourself and the people around you to a high standard to succeed. It's a thing. Isn't it like the whole like show me your friends and I'll show you your future? Yeah, I believe that. For sure, because I can just like tell you like the different squads I used to hang around with and like the person I became. And I don't care like how much you tell yourself like, nah, bro, I'm the ringleader. Like I make my own decisions. Nobody can influence me. It's not true. The people who are around you will influence you and change the way you think and the choices you make. Like it's really honest. And I think about like how I want to live my life in the future and the people that I want around me. I want such a variety of like people around me that like my kid is the kid. Look at me. Thinking about my future children always, but my child is a child that is just like, oh my God, like my aunt from India or like my aunt from South Africa or like my uncle from so and so because they have like people around them that are from different cultures so that they can understand more of the world through their own experiences. Because again, that's how your frontal lobe really develops. But don't let a toxic relationship be something you really need to experience for you to understand that like it's bad. I'm telling you right now, it is not. It's really important that you know your boundaries and that you hold yourself to a high standard so you can hold the people around you to a higher standard so that you end up accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, but also you end up like staying sane. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really enjoy your presence, your time. Really, thank you for listening. Like, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate your presence right now. If you have any comments, concerns, feedback, you just want to tell me you enjoy the podcast, make sure to DM me on Instagram. I am Salamata0 on Instagram. That is SALAMATA0 on Instagram. I will be responding, so make sure you DM me.